morning to you. Jeff Slakey here. Happy to have Mondays at this time. Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Morning. Great.
Good to see you. Good Monday to you. Some news notes to pass along. Up at the Taste of Hood Canal a couple weeks ago, I ran into Ryan Sperling. He used to work up there at the north end and now at the jail, but maybe going back up?
Yeah, he's very excited. Ryan did a great job for me. Took over a tough task to move in and take the jail position for me for a while, temporarily, while we searched for a new jail chief. It's an appointed position, but I actually go and request some other people do interviews for me. Some other jail chiefs do that. I put that together that way. And we've come up with a new jail chief, and he'll be sworn in this Thursday at the Sheriff's Advisory Board breakfast out at the out at Spencer Lake. So
background on the guy? He's
a jail chief from another agency.
Okay.
He's got about 30 years experience. He's been through the process of actually building a new jail. Very exciting guy. He's going to fit in great for us.
Nice. Very good. That's very good. And then that means Ryan is going to head back up?
Ryan can't wait to get back out on the road. Two different kinds of people. You know, a jail is a really, really tough environment to work in. If you're a move-about person, you're inside. And Ryan's like me. I'm an outside person, and people that work in jails are like, kind of like I was calling the silent service, about people that are able to work on submarines, and some people can't. And the folks that work in there have a really, really tough job to do. And if you're that kind of person and that's your environment, it's great. And if you're not, it's really tough. So
wow, I bet.
Ryan's excited to be back out.
Well, good. I think the folks up in Belfair are excited to have them. Last week, we heard about the tragic incident in Montana with Thurston County Sheriff Snaza. Do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, John is a great friend of mine. We used to work the road together, and I supervised John for a while when I was a sergeant over there. I got an update last night from Under Sheriff Tim Braniff, and John is able to open one eye. He was looking around a little bit yesterday, one eye still swollen shut. He is making progress. They're going to try to take some of the medication away, so he's reacting more on his own. He was able to grip with both hands, move both feet yesterday, and it's going to be a long recovery. But he's getting better.
Wow. And he has been with Thurston County since the late 90s?
Yeah, he came in there just a little bit after I started there, and we worked together a long time, over 20 years. So
wow. Oh, my gosh.
Very exciting guy, and I know that if John's chance at recovery there, he'll work real hard on that, and he'll be back. But it's going to take a while. It's going to be a tough road.
Yeah, I bet. We're hearing reports of a hiker rescued kind of in the Mount Rose area. How does something like this work? You guys obviously get a call, someone needs to be rescued. Then after the rescuing is done, that's when you have to do the paperwork and you start tallying the numbers. And it's kind of costly, isn't it?
It's really expensive. As you know, every year we go to the commission and we do our best to put in a budget proposal of what we're going to need, but we have no idea how many lost hikers we're going to get, how many issues that we're going to have, that you have a homicide or those kinds of cases. We have no way to predict that, and we have to call people out that are regularly scheduled. They're all deputies, and so you're taking them off their regular shifts. Then you're having to backfill those shifts and pay overtime for other people, and you're up to 24 hours or more, sometimes days, on those kind of things until a person is located. And so it's very, very expensive. And then at the end of the year, when you hear me go in and ask for money, those are the kind of things that people forget about when you're back in there at the end of the year and people say, well, what did you do with your money? Well, we don't just get to say, sorry, hope you find your way out. We go up there until we find people. And then we also have another very important part is we have our volunteers. And those volunteers, if we didn't have that search and rescue volunteer team, can you imagine the expense then if we had to take all deputies up there?
Yeah.
And so those volunteers for our search and rescue team help us out greatly. And that was one instance. We've had several others where people get lost or they start to find their way out, but we're still calling people out at the time the family calls. So if we get everybody mobilized and get up there and then end up walking out on our own, we still have that expense. So it's extremely expensive. And what I find in most of those cases is that people get up there for all the right reasons. They want to go up and enjoy the day, but they're very ill prepared. They don't have the right clothing. We had another one just recently where some folks got up there and they were just ill prepared. And then they get up there, the weather starts to change, it gets cold out. sometimes they call, sometimes you'll have cell phone connection, sometimes you won't, or they don't report back to the trailhead, and then there we go again. And we even had instances where we've been reported that somebody's lost. We mobilize everybody. We go up there. They've come out on another side, another trail, and left and not told us, and we're still up there.
Oh, man.
So it's very expensive, and it's tough for us to predict that.
So how do organizations, because this is a year, every year this comes up, there is unseen costs. Are there computer models that you guys look at, or do you look at last year's budgetary numbers to then ask for the...
We follow the previous year's budgetary numbers, and we try to best guesstimate. I mean, when you look at our jail, there's no way for us to know what medical costs are going to do.
Right.
Or halfway through the year they go up. We have no way of knowing our jail population. We can look at an average, but all of a sudden you get that one person you take into custody that costs $60,000, $80,000 in medical that you're required to pay. So how do you predict that? We can't predict people's health. It's really, really tough. You follow from year to year, and we know that medical costs are going to go up every year. We know that food costs are going to go up every year. But every year people want that to run cheaper, and there's just no way. When your medical and food costs, you have to feed the people, you have to take care of them. And the cost of energy, the heat costs are going to go up in the jail.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember a time when it's ever went down.
Sure.
So, but each year it's how much you're going to spend. And we try to make that prediction, and each year is, can't you make it cheaper? Well, there's no way to make it cheaper unless you don't hold those people in custody and you start shutting things down.
That's true. Finally, let's end on some fun notes, music notes, that is. On Friday, you had your breakfast that you have, and you welcomed some musical greats into the area.
Yeah, I had Don Wilson from the Ventures, and if you get on Google and read about them, 100 million albums sold. That's just...
That's
tough
amazing.
to think about. 100 million albums sold. Don came out, and my great friend Brad Owen, our lieutenant governor, and I throw in, Brad has announced his retirement, and he's the most senior lieutenant governor of the United States, 20 years of service as lieutenant governor. And Brad and Don are great friends. That's how I met Don, was through Brad Owen. And so I had Brad do an interview with Don Wilson of the Ventures. And I went on an edge a few months ago when I met Don's son, and I bought one of the Ventures model guitars. And Don signed it for me, and he signed a bunch of things for a lot of people out there. But rare opportunity to meet somebody. I don't know how many people have ever met somebody in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But to have Don come out was really special, a little bit different than we normally do. So.
Yeah, those are fun events that you help bring together folks from all sorts of law enforcement officials around the area.
It's very exciting. We have a lot of people every month. This is going into our almost 10th year.
Jeez.
And the last Friday of every month. And I want to thank the Little Creek Casino for all these years has never charged us for the use of that room.
That's great.
And there's no place else big enough to hold this, to have this many people. So we certainly appreciate the tribe and their assistance and being able to bring. We had General Barry McCaffrey. We had both governors. I have some great people coming for the future. So
that's awesome. Well, that's really cool. 7:52 today, and. Well, no, I'm going to keep you around because I know that you are a busy man, but you love talking school. You love talking high school. We got the Mason County Cup this week. The kids are up at the high school, getting their pictures taken, the ID cards done.
Oh, yeah.
You have great memories of that?
Oh, I'm telling you. My best friend, Daryl Damron, we played running backs together in high school. He made a statement once I've always remembered. There is nothing like the fall and the cut of the first grass on Clymer Stadium that says it's time for football season. There's a smell of that grass when it's cut, and it's fall time, and it's time for high school football. And I'm so excited. It's going to be a great start of the year. I understand North Mason and Shelton will be playing again. Coach Pugh is back from North Mason. It's going to be an exciting year. I love it. I taught and I coached at High Climbers there for a couple of years up there, and I coached over at Capital as well, which mention that too loud in climber country.
But I know. Watch out.
It's going to be a great year. I'm looking really forward to it.
Very good. Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury, always a great time talking with you. It's 7:53. Have a good day today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this.